Honourable members, prayers. Almighty God, we humbly beseech thee to look with favour on this Parliament of the Republic of Ghana. Grant that it may perform its high duty as in thy sight. Give divine guidance to the President of the Republic. Endow members of Parliament and ministers of state with discernment and vision, integrity and courage, that through the levers of government, this land and people may be well and truly served. Thy good purposes for the common human life be realized in our midst. O God, grant us the vision of our country, fair as it might be, country of righteousness, where none shall wrong his neighbor, country of plenty, where evil and poverty shall be done away with, country of brotherhood, where all success shall be founded on service, and honor shall be given to the deserving, country of peace, where government shall rest on the will of the people and the love for the common good. Bless the efforts of those who struggle to make this vision a living reality. Inspire and strengthen our people, that they may give time, thought, and sacrifice to speed the day of the coming beauty of Ghana and Africa. Amen. Honourable members, you have the votes and proceedings of Thursday, November 3rd, 2022. We shall go through them now and correct them if any. Page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5, page 6, page 7, page 8.
Mr. Speaker, page 8, item 34, Honorable Sam Nate George. I'm aware that he requested for approval to travel for an internet governance forum, and I remitted same to the Speaker's office. Just that table will take note. I won't know where the form is, but I recall that he requested to be on 2 official trips, but I remember that for Internet Governance Forum that I worked on for table to refer to your office. Thank you.
Honourable Leader, you know that unless he submits a form requesting to be excused, the record cannot reflect otherwise. So if he has requested the form, I'm sure if it's brought to the attention of the table office, they will effect the correction. Page 9. Page 10. Page 11. Page 12. Page 13. Page 14. Page 15. Page 16. Page 17. Page 18. Yes, Honourable Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I'm really sorry to take us back, but yesterday raise the issue in respect of some of the members of parliament who had sought permission from us, from the Speaker through us, and we had indeed submitted these requests to the Speaker. And so we thought those of them would be captured as being absent with permission. And the list that was submitted includes the Honourable Afenyo on page 7, 4 on page 7, that is 4.4, item 4, number 4. Nana Ayu Afriye, then John Peter Mewu, Anodom Pre, the Chief Whip, then Patrick Yaobuama. Mr. Speaker, even you yourself, and Dr. Mafo and Kweku Kwating. These were the names that had come to me and had ferried same to the Speaker. The Speaker, I even thought that same would be done in respect of the Honourable Muntaka Mohammed Mubarak. And the minority leader agreed with me that he's aware that he has submitted a leave of absence. And yet, all of them are captured as being absent without any permission. So in respect of those people that we have mentioned, that we can bear testimony that they have sought permission, I think they should be captured as having been absent with permission. Thank you.
Very well. I think we'll need to trace the leave of absence forms. Probably the processing has delayed for it to reach the table office, but it is very well noted. All the members of the Pan-African Parliament who are officially representing Parliament are marked absent without permission, including my good self. And so probably the processing of the leave of absence forms is stuck up somewhere. We'll try to trace them. Very well. I was on page 17. Page 18. Page 19. Page 20. Page 21. Page 22. Page 23. Page 24. Page 25. Page 26. Page 27. Page 28. 29. Page 30. Page 31. Page 32. Page 33. Page 34. Page 35. Page 36. Page 37. Page 38. Page 39. Page 40. Page 41. 42. Page 43. Page 44. Page 45. Page 46. Honourable members, in the absence of any corrections, the vote of proceedings of Thursday, November 3rd, 2022 is hereby adopted as a true record of proceedings. There's no official report for today. Now shall I invite the Majority Leader and Chairman of the Business Committee to present a business statement for the ensuing week.
Mr. Speaker, the Business Committee met yesterday, Thursday, the 3rd of November, 2022, and arranged business of the House for the third week ending Friday, 11th November, 2022. Mr. Speaker, the committee accordingly submits its report as follows. The Speaker may read any available communication to the House. Speaker, the Business Committee has scheduled the following ministers to respond to questions asked of them during the week. The Minister for Youth and Sports, 5 questions to respond to. The Minister for the Oti region, 1 question. Minister for Food and Agriculture, 9. Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, 8. The Minister for the Interior, 11. The Minister for Roads and Highways, 8. The Minister for Fisheries and Aquaculture Development, 4. So, Mr. Speaker, in these questions be answered by the ministers. 7 are urgent questions and 39 are regular questions. Speaker, many statements being made in the House by honourable members with Order 72. Speaker, papers may be late during the week and reports from committees may also house. Motions may be debated and their consequential resolutions, if any, taken during the week. Speaker, the Business Committee again urges committee to expedite work on same for the consideration of the House. Speaker, leadership takes this opportunity to inform honourable members that there will be a joint caucus meeting on Wednesday, 9th of November 2022 to discuss pertinent issues affecting the House and also members. Speaker, in accordance with Standing Order 160 sub 2 and subject to Standing Order 53, the committee submits to this honourable House the order in which the business of the House shall be taken during the week. Speaker, the order as set out on the draft before us covers page 1 through to 8, and I don't really intend to go item by item and issue by issue. Speaker, in that regard, I would entreat the Housing Department to capture the content of the business statement as having been read and capture same into the handsets. Speaker, thank you.
Yes, honourable members. Yes.
Yeah. Mr. Speaker, we all know that the main business for this particular meeting is the budget. And I have observed that for the days that we've been here, sometimes we come and in less than 2 hours, we've adjourned till the next day. I'm asking whether it will not be possible for the Business Committee to consolidate, pack the activities so that instead of 4 days, we come like 2 days in a week in order to be able to save on the amount of money we are using for fuel. Because, Mr. Speaker, the day before yesterday, I went to the Gold filling station at Lagos. My light was on and I asked them to fill my tank. I got down to the shop to buy something. When I came back, 3,000 cedis was my bill. 3,000, Mr. Speaker. I had 2,100. I had to call my colleague, Honorable Jaja, to send me money through the Momo that I'm avoiding to use before I was able to pay my bills. So, Mr. Speaker, looking at the kind of business that we have, is it not possible to we can stay for 6 hours a day. Instead of coming 2 hours, we go back, drive here 2 hours, we go back. Part the day, if it's even 8 hours, we'll be willing to stay, do the business for like two days, and then save. That way, we can save like 500 cedis on fuel every week. And this will also be in line with the proposal by President Mahama to organizations to allow those who can work from home to do so, because the fuel situation is killing us, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much.
One notable confession is that he's avoiding paying tax. The honourable member has confessed that he's avoiding paying tax. It's a very notable confession. Yes. Are you on your feet? Yes, Honourable.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I share the concerns raised by my honorable colleague about what we do here, and if leadership can do something about it, the better. But, Mr. Speaker, last week I raised an issue to do with a question I posed for the Agric Minister to appear here to answer. This was advertised on Thursday, 21st July 2022. He came around and provided the answers for question number 945 and 946. But he was not able to read the answer. Fortunately for me, one of the questions was repeated for the second week. I raised it on Friday, that I thought, since the answers were together, the other question for the Agric Minister should have followed, as it occurred on the 21st July 2022 order paper. This business statement has captured only question 945, leaving 946. For the same minister, I think if he is coming here to answer just 945, then they should add 946 for him, so it follows the order that it was on the 21st July 2022 order paper. This thing is of so much importance. Mr. Speaker, it is to do with rice mills and processing of our paddy rice. The minister came to this house and told us they have imported 90 rice millers. We asked for the location of those rice millers, and I was told to file my own question for that information. I did. And the answer the minister provided, which was published on the 21st July order paper, claims that no such thing has happened. So the question is an interesting question. The minister must come to tell us why he told us he has imported 90 rice millers, and the follow-up question he's saying no such thing has happened. Then this house will look. So I don't know why we are avoiding that very question, since he has provided answer. Mr. Speaker, I want you to direct the table office for them to at least get that question on the order paper for consideration. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, yesterday a question was advertised in my name, and it was in connection with the health minister. Unfortunately, that question couldn't come on, but I later on got a mail from the table office that it will be scheduled for next week. Unfortunately, when I went through the business statement, I have not seen the question being advertised for next week. In the same vein, today I was supposed to ask a question on the Sky Train that the government attempted to construct. And yesterday, on the other paper, it was the first question that we would have taken this morning. And, Mr. Speaker, you realize that the issue of the Sky Train, our government has invested money in it, in equity. And as a House, we should be interested in knowing what returns we have made on the equity that we have invested in. So, unfortunately, the minister, this question has not been tabled for today. And there's no indication that it's been scheduled for next week. I just want to find out what we are doing about that, how soon we can get it back. If it is possible, Mr. Speaker, for you to do an amendment for it to be considered next week, I will appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Yes, leader.
Mr. Speaker, let me thank you very much. I'm aware that I'm a member of the Business Committee, but Mr. Speaker, two outstanding issues. One is a question standing in the name of the Honorable Member for Nalerigo about the status of the abandoned Gambaga College of Education. Gambaga College of Education is a question. I'm sure it's not been programmed. Then, Mr. Speaker, there is a question in my name for the Minister for Finance to come and answer outstanding obligations for statutory pension payment, which question I filed in July, and how much government owes in respect of its SNIT obligations to workers as persons' security are being threatened, and the opportunity for the investment of those money by especially those belonging to the second tier pension scheme. That is in my name. I haven't seen that question being tabled. Mr. Speaker, earlier last week, I requested that the Honorable Minister for Interior, the Minister for Defense, and the Attorney General will have to be hauled before this House to brief us on the state of the failing Galamsey fight, how much we've invested in the three ministries with the present plan to deal with it, with the continuous destruction of our environment and water body. I don't seem to see that also being programmed for our purposes. Then, Mr. Speaker, it's early yet, but the Honorable Majority Leader will have to update this House preparations for the 2023 budget statement. Where are we and what should we be expecting? Are we honoring and fulfilling our obligations under Article 179 and the Public Financial Management Act in respect of the Minister for Finance appearing early with a budget so that this House again is not stampeded into a 3-week period to approve whatever he brings? We need adequate time to scrutinize the budget. So we want to hear from him, where are we? Where are we on your preparations for the 2023 budget statement? If you don't have one, let us know, because you are waiting for IMF before you can have a budget. Let's also know where we are on it. No IMF, no budget, or you have a budget without IMF, and which one precedes the other. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to hear from the leader. I don't want to add whether you come in a different capacity for that purpose. So, Mr. Speaker, some of our issues. I thank you.
Yes, Honorable Majority Leader.
Speaker, colleague, the member for Sue German, asked about, he says he spent about 3,000 for fuel. And he's saying that on account of that, we should perhaps be working for just 2 days in a week. Mr. Speaker, well, I don't know the quantum of fuel that his own vehicle was able to absorb. So I'm not in a position to comment on the amount that he spent. If your vehicle has a capacity to, store about a barrel of fuel and you buy 3,000, Mr. Speaker, I may not be in any position to sympathize or maybe shed tears for you. But yes, we all recognize that fuel prices have gone up. I mean, we are all in this country, we all buy fuel, but we know that fuel prices have indeed gone up. Of course, we may disagree on the cost of it. I'll relate to the price at the international level. I know that crude price now has gone up. It's escalated dramatically. You do know that. Of course, the other factor we must also admit is the strength of our local currency now. So the combination of the two factors, one must admit. But having said so, Speaker, when we are in dire circumstances, that is when we are called upon to increase productivity. And for a member of parliament to say that we should work in just 2 days in a week, the Speaker, that is a very apocalyptic declaration from the member of parliament. What will be the effect on national productivity, this call that you are making? And what will be the effect on GDP? I think that really is an unfortunate call on us that we should be working for just 2 days in a week. Mr. Speaker, and he says that President Mahama has made a request for people to work from their home. There's only one president in this country, one executive president in this country, and nobody can pretend to share power with that president, whether it's a former president or a future president. Mr. Speaker, the country has voted for one president. I remember, you are a young man in this house. I remember in 1998, when the former president, our first president in the Fourth Republic, had delivered the message of the State of the Nation, and President Kufuor commented, President Rawlings was quick to add that he should recognize that there's only one president in this country. May I send the same message to my colleague from Sue German. There is only one president who has been voted for, and there cannot be any pretensions about that. Mr. President, the Honorable Kofi Adams is relating to a question numbered 946. It says it's about some rice mills. I would have to check. It didn't come before us for programming. But now that you've drawn attention, we'll see, especially given the fact that the Minister for Agriculture will be coming. He is coming, as we have listed him, to be here to answer 9 questions. Perhaps it may become necessary to add on to that. I'll just look at that. The Speaker, another member also spoke about a question that he has asked of the Minister for Health. We will see. I will address myself to that and we'll see, because again, I have to look at it, and then if it's possible to program it for next week. Because next week next week, if it's possible for the minister, certainly we'll bring it on board. And then you say to us that there's another question that you filed relating to the minister responsible for railways. I'm informed that the minister has submitted the response. Unfortunately, he couldn't be here. And so we will reprogram that for either Tuesday or Wednesday. We will relate to him, and it certainly cannot go beyond Wednesday, either Tuesday or Wednesday. The minority leader is also raising an issue in respect of a question that stands in the name of the member for Nalerego. I think I'll have to look at it, and then we'll see how to bring it back to the front burner. Then the issue about statutory pension payments. We said we have filed a question with the finance minister, and I don't know whether it's been admitted by the speaker. You should know the status of that question. The admissibility of a question lies with the speaker. If it's not being admitted, you don't expect us to program it. And you are a very senior member of the committee, the business committee. You are always reserving some rights to cause internal bleeding when you know that you should be asking these questions at the business committee level. Mr. Speaker, the other matter, he says the state of the Galamsey fight. He mentions 3 ministers. You can't ask 3 ministers the same question. So perhaps you will want a briefing from the ministers in maybe a joint caucus. That could be done. So we could deal with it. But certainly you cannot file one question at 3 ministers. So we'll see what it is that must be done. The Speaker, the final issue that my colleague raised is in respect of the budget presentation. I guess by the close of the day, I should be in a position to announce definitely when it will be coming. As you do know, and as yourself related to, and as I've also communicated to you, discussions are ongoing in respect of our own negotiations with the IMF. The conclusions, as you do know, shall have to be factored into the budget. The Public Financial Management Act requires the minister to be here to present the budget statement and economic policy on or before the 15th of this month. That is what the statute provides, and it's for a good reason. The IPU that we all belong to, the Inter-Parliamentary Union, I need the course. The Honorable Dr. Ayini is causing some conflagration in my ranks. Mr. Speaker, a lot will depend on how far we travel on the IMF negotiations. However, I think considerable progress has been made, and as you do know, when everything is settled, because it's a document from the president will have to have a look at it, and the president certainly would do the consideration of it in consultation and indeed with the collaboration of his ministers. Everything is done, then the document will come to the House. I know the minister is working hard to ensure that it comes within time. But given the pressures, we may perhaps also go to the ensuing week, which will be maybe the 24th of November. Certainly not beyond the 30th. Because as you do know, the Constitution, you rightly quoted, Article 1791, provides that the document should come to this House not later than 1 month before the expiry of the financial year. What it means is that it should come before the 30th of November. We ourselves, because, as I said, we belong to the IPU, and because the IPU is entreating Parliament in the consideration of budgets to have a minimum of about 8 weeks. That consideration informed us in crafting the PFMA to state that we should have about 6 weeks, a minimum of 6 weeks to consider the budget and approve of same. So it was with that consideration that we decided to bring the date forward to 15th of November. However, if it's not able to comply with that and goes beyond that to maybe the 24th of November, he will not have breached the Constitution. As you do know, between the Constitution and the PFMA, the imperatives of the Constitution certainly way stronger than that of the PFMA. Of course, if we're able to comply with the PFMA, it will be better for us as a parliament. So we're looking, and as I said, I had some engagement with him yesterday. I guess by the close of the day, we should be able to have the date that the minister will be able to submit the budget to the House. Speaker, thank you.
Honourable members, the business statement is hereby adopted as presented. Shall we go to question time? The Honourable Minister for Roads and Highways, you may now take your seat and answer the questions. The first question is in the name of the Honourable Member for Hull Central. Question number 481 will be asked by the Honourable Member for Hull Central, Mr. Benjamin Komla-Kodo. I like your hairstyle there.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister for Roads and Highways when the road from Volta Barracks through Bengwe, Takla, and Hojo to Tokokwe will be completed.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Volta Barracks through Quenoy, Takla, and Hojo to Tokokoi Federal Road is located in the whole municipality of the Volta region. It is a 20.1 kilometer long and in fair condition. The current program, Mr. Speaker, contract for the bituminous surfacing of the above road was awarded under the contract titled Bitumen Surfacing of Hull Barracks to Hojoga to Tokokoi Federal Road. That is from kilometer 1.1 to 20.1 on 20th October 2016. Works commenced on 6 January 2017 with an expected completion date of 6 July 2018. The completion date was revised to 11 March 2020 due to additional works issued. The Speaker, works executed to date include 10 number of 1 by 900 millimeter pipe culvert, 10,649 meter of concrete U-drains, and 9 kilometers of primary soil works. Progress of work is projected at 71% physical completion. Mr. Speaker, the progress of work has been very slow, mainly due to delayed payment for certified work done. The contractor is currently not on site due to delay in payment for certified works. Efforts are being made to get the contractor back to site to complete the outstanding work. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, wrong.
Mr. Speaker, if this road works has been on for about 6 years now, so I want to find out from the minister what concrete program is there for getting the contractor back to work so that it can be concluded once and for all.
Honorable Minister.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I have stated in my answer that work on this project is slow, and to be honest with you, is mainly due to delayed payment. So every effort is being made. As soon as money is made available, the contractor will be paid part of the certified certificates to enable the contractor to speed up work on this project. But at least it's heartwarming that the contractor is still on site. So we will do everything possible to encourage the contractor to speed up work. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, the major communities on this stretch are Pengwe, Takla, Hojo, before you get to Tukukwe. The Tobe Kotoku, the 11th, the paramount chief of Pengwe, greets you. He visited you the last time. He sends you his compliment.
Honorable, can you proceed with the question?
Mr. Speaker, primer seal has been done from the center of Pengwe Township to Hojo, leaving the stretch from Volta Barracks, which is the beginning point, to Pengwe in very deplorable state. Very, very deplorable state. It's dangerous for vehicles and commuters. There are a number of certificates, five certificates. One is 3.2 million, another one is 3 million, another one is 2 million plus. There is one which is 1.6 million, and another is 4.7 million. I have given copies of these certificates to you personally. Would you please facilitate the payment of one or two only of this certificate so that the contractor can return to site. The total amount outstanding is about 12 million. But can you do something to some of the certificates to enable the contractor to go back to site with perhaps a specific directive that go and concentrate on the Volta Barracks to Pengwai stretch?
Honorable,
Hello.
yes, will you give any
Will
such
you do
directive?
that?
Honorable, yes, Honorable Minister, will you do any such thing? We don't have time, a lot of time today, so we'll make it as crispy as possible. Otherwise,
I thank you,
I'll intervene.
Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as I indicated, even the amount is understated. The certified amount, standing to the credit of the contractor is 15.7. I know it. And the 9 kilometers primer seal has to be facilitated even to be sealed properly so that it does not deteriorate. So that's why I said that we are making every effort. As soon as money becomes available, something will be released to the contractor to work on the road. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, you see, my worry is that this is about
Honorable, please.
this is about the third time I've raised question on this road.
It means that there is no answer yet. Can you ask another question? Otherwise, we'll move on.
What I'm demanding from the minister is that how exactly does he plan to get the contractor back to site? Because it's always whenever he decides that this is the time he should go, he tells us in Parliament, but the work is not going on. That is why I am putting, it appears I'm putting pressure on him to give us definite program for this work to be executed.
Honorable Minister, are you capable of giving a definite program?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it is the wish of the ministry and everybody that every road is worked on in the country. I wish it had been done even yesterday, but as I said, it is dependent upon availability of funds. So as soon as funds are available, it will be done. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, question number 626. Honorable Member for Simi. People take advantage of one question to ask 15 different roads. Table office, I think you should check this. One question lists about 15 different roads to be answered as one question. I think you should check and help to break this down. Yes, Honorable Ampofuch Mercy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister of Road and Highways what has accounted for the delay in the construction of Atebu Kwame Danso Road and the following feeder roads: Kwame Danso Achramade Bato Road, Kwame Danso Konkonsi Road, Chiamikrom Chabuba Road, Chiamikrom Tato Bato Road, Menko Today Kope Road, Shafa Dogondaji Road, Bunji Donkope Road, Lemu Mantukwa Road, Mantukwa Kwayasi Road. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I begin with the upgrading of Atebubu to Kwame Danso to Kwajo Krom Road. measuring 35 kilometers. This road links the Atebubu to Amantin district to the Sini West and Sini East districts in the Bono East region. The total length of this road is 100 kilometers. The section from Atebubu to Kwame Danso is one of the roads under the Critical Road Program. It is a gravel road in poor condition. The section between kilometer 35 to 65 is already sealed and in good condition. From Atebubu to Kwame Danso, that is from kilometer 65 to 100, is a gravel road in poor condition. Currently, Mr. Speaker, the Atebubu Kwame Danso Koidokrom Road is being constructed in phases. Phase 1 involves upgrading of Atebubu to Kwame Danso to Koidokrom, measuring 35 kilometers, and Phase 2 is upgrading of Atebubu to Kwame Danso to Koidokrom, that is upgrading of Boadinka to Koidokrom between kilometer 65 and kilometer 100. Mr. Speaker, with Phase 1, the contract commenced on 22nd April 2020 for completion by 21st October 2022. The progress of work is estimated at 29% physical completion. The contractor is currently on site and works are ongoing. Work executed to date include roadside clearing 51%, earthworks 51%, concrete works 6%, pavement works. There's a correction there. It's pavement, not payment. Pavement works 33% and primary seal 28%. With Phase 2, Mr. Speaker, the contract commenced on 10th December 2015 for completion by 9th December 2018. This has been revised to December 2022. The contractor is currently on site, but progress is slow. Work executed to date include roadside clearing 48%, earthworks 45%, concrete works 13%, pavement works 36.8%, primary seal 20%, and first seal 20%. The physical progress of work is estimated at 31.5%. Kwame Danso to Achere Madi to Bator Road. This is a feeder road measuring 21 kilometers long. Mr. Speaker, it is an engineered road in poor condition and located in the Sini West district of the Bono East region. Currently, there is no program on this road. The future program, Mr. Speaker, engineering design studies is programmed to be carried on this road by the end of the fourth quarter of 2022 to assess the appropriate intervention, after which consideration will be given under the 2024 budget. 2. Kwame Danso to Konkosi Road. This road is captured on the Department of Federal Roads database as Kwame Danso to Konkosi Road. It is 30-kilometer long road, and it is an engineered road in poor condition and located in the Sini West district of the Bono East region. Mr. Speaker, currently it has been awarded in 2 phases. Phase 1 is from Kwame Danso to Konkonsi, a feeder road measuring 15 kilometers. And Phase 2 is the same road, but the second 15 kilometers. That is from kilometer 15 to kilometer 30. The contracts for both phases 1 and 2 were awarded on 22nd December 2020 and expected to have commenced on 24th March 2021. The contractors failed to commence the works. The Department of Federal Roads issued 2 warning letters to the contractors dated 9 November 2021 and 16 June 2022 for failure to commence the works. The Department of Federal Roads is initiating the necessary contractual procedures to terminate the contract by the end of the third quarter of 2022. 3. Kwame Chrome to Chabuba Road. Mr. Speaker, this road is captured in the Department of Federal Roads database as Chiami Chrome to Chabuba Road. It is 22.2 kilometers long. It is unengineered road in poor condition and located in the Sini West district of the Bono East region. Currently, Mr. Speaker, this road has been awarded under the contract titled Sport Improvement of Chiami Chrome to Chabuba Feeder Road, measuring 20 kilometers. The works commenced on 10 February 2021 for completion by 9 February 2022. Mr. Speaker, the contractor failed to commence the works. The Department of Federal Roads issued a warning letter to the contractor dated 9 November 2021 for failure to commence work. The Department of Federal Roads is initiating the necessary contractual procedures to terminate the contract by the end of the third quarter of 2022. 4. Chiami Chrome to Tator Bator Road, measuring 21.6 kilometers. This road, as mentioned, is 21.6 kilometers long and located in the Sini West district of the Bono East region. It consists of engineered and partially engineered sections of gravel and sand with poor surface condition over entire length. Currently, there is no program on this road, but the future program, Mr. Speaker, is that engineering design studies program to be carried on this road by end of the fourth quarter 2022 to assess the appropriate intervention after which consideration will be given under the 2024 budget. Shafa to Gabon Daji Road. Mr. Speaker, this feeder road is 19.2 kilometers long. The road, as stated, is located in the Sini West district of Bono East region. It is made up of partially engineered and non-engineered sections. The road is in poor condition, and there is no program on this road currently. But the future program, Mr. Speaker, is that engineering design studies is programmed to be carried on this road by the end of fourth quarter 2022 to assess the appropriate intervention, after which consideration will be given under the 2024 budget. Mr. Speaker, I am taking 4 projects together. That is Mentor to Dekope Road, measuring 19.2 kilometers. Bunje to Dunkwape Road, measuring 12.8 kilometers. Lemu to Mantukwa Road, measuring 25 kilometers. And Mantuka to Kwasi Road, measuring 16 kilometers. Mr. Speaker, the above roads are all unengineered feeder roads located in the Sini West district of the Bono East region. There is no program on these roads, Mr. Speaker. Engineering design, however, engineering design studies program to be carried out on this road by end of the fourth quarter 2022 to assess the appropriate intervention, after which consideration will be given under the 2024 budget. I thank you, Mr.
Yes, this is so comprehensive. I wonder whether you have a follow-up question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think Minister is aware of my area, the problem and the challenges concerning the road. We went there 2014. We were in the same bus, and the whole district, he could imagine, or he knows, that we don't have tar roads. Even the main road from Atebu Kwame down so is a challenge. So with your outfit or your office, what are you going to do to help to construct Atebu Kwame Dansu Road, which always comes every year, comes in the budget and State of the Nation address? You've given me big assurance since you became road minister. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to know from minister, specifically on that Atebu Kwame Dansu Road, the assurance that it will give, because he's saying that it's slow. The progress of the work is very slow, which is true. But to me, I don't see contractor on the road. Wouldn't you think it's because of financial problem? Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleague has always been in touch with me so far as his road network is concerned. And I believe he is fully aware of the efforts being made and the promises all being fulfilled. And from my answer, it's clear, there's no ambiguity about it, that the roads have been awarded on contracts, almost all of them. But unfortunately, it's the performance of contractors who fail to execute jobs. And this is not peculiar to his constituency. I believe every constituency experiences it. That is why now we are going through a process, to screen the contractors. And I believe that, God willing, from January 2023, we are coming out with a full list of competent contractors who will be given jobs in this country so that we end this perennial experience of contractors not working. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Let's proceed. Very well, yes, I'll allow you one more.
Thank you, Mr.
The
Speaker.
roads are many.
I like the assurance the minister is giving me. And I hope by 2023, as you're saying, at least that Atebu Kwame Dansu Road, I'm looking up to you. And the entire Senate people and the whole Ghanaians are also looking up to you with assurance that you're giving me. And I'm also part of the Government Assurance Committee, so I know I'll also hold you there when the time comes up. Mr. Speaker, my last question. My major worry or concern is about Kwame Danso Konkonsi Road and also Chamikrom Chabuba Road has been awarded and has been given two several warnings by the Department of Federal Roads. And per the answer, you are yet to consider to terminate the contract the third quarter of this year or this year. So is it not the same issue of financial problem? And if you terminate the contract, what will be the fate of these roads? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes,
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Yes, it's true that the financial difficulties are always there. But anytime we terminate a contract, one thing becomes clear. If we have to repackage and re-award, we make sure that we do so to a more competent contractor. And I hope in this case that is what is going to happen. When terminated, we will find a better contractor with a better capacity to be given the job and to be given the second opportunity. I thank you, Mr.
Question number 638, Honorable Member for Evale Ajomorojira, Ofiaku Nokwe. Yes.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity. I rise to ask the Minister for Roads and Highways the plans the ministry has to renovate the Domnase Bridge on the Ankova River in the Nzima East municipality. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Domnase Bridge is located at kilometer 12 plus 900 on the Anibin Junction to Teleku Bokazo Road, which lies in the Nzima East municipality. The road forms part of the regional road R088. The road is a strategic route as it links the Apimanim to Takwa Road to the Apimanim Elubu section of the National Route N1. Mr. Speaker, the Anibin Junction to Teleku Bokazo Road is currently awarded under the Critical Roads Program, known as Rehabilitation of Esiama to Teleku Bokazo to Anibin Junction Road. That is from kilometer 5.5 to 35.7. WR Lot 3, that is Western Region Lot 3. However, this road contract does not include the rehabilitation of the Domnase Bridge. Currently, Mr. Speaker, there is no contract awarded for the maintenance or rehabilitation of the Domnase Bridge. It has, however, been scheduled for rehabilitation works for consideration under the 2023 budget. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Thank you, Right Honorable Minister, for your answer, for your response. But, Mr. Speaker, this is a bridge that was constructed in 1964, which makes it over about 58 years. And the last time a renovation work of any sort was done on it has been decades. But, Honorable Minister, this is a bridge that links the Ajomoro and the Jura side to the municipal capital. It is affecting lives, it is affecting revenue mobilization, it is affecting everything. So can the minister give some assurance that it's not going to be considered under the 2023 budget, but it is going to be covered? Can he give us, the people of Evalodra, this assurance? Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I completely agree with my honorable colleague. That's why in my answer, it is stated that this particular bridge is scheduled for rehabilitation in our database next year, 2023. And I believe it should also gladden your heart that the enemy to Teleku-Bukazo Road has been awarded, under our critical roads program. And the bridge being complained of lies on this stretch of the road. So definitely once we work on the road, the bridge becomes very important and prominent for rehabilitation, as part of the approaches. The approaches are the two roads. So as stated, it will be worked on in 2023 as part of our program. And 2023, God willing, is only about 2 months or so from now. It will be taken up. Thank you.
Right Honorable Speaker, I wish to thank the Honorable Minister for the assurance. And
thank you very much.
That it doesn't get to the Government Assurance Committee.
Thank you. I'll proceed. Question number 643, Doma West. Vincent Topon Samoa.
Honorable Speaker, Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask the question on behalf of Honorable.
I know you as Honorable Bofuchumesi, not Vincent Topon Samoa.
With permission.
I have not granted you one.
That's why I'm asking permission from you.
You want permission to ask the question on behalf of the honorable member? Has he asked you to do that on his behalf?
Yes.
Very well. Now you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister for Road and Highways, when contractors working on the underlisted roads in the Doma West constituency in the Puno region, which were under construction before 2016, but have since been abandoned. When will they resume work? Number one, Atisikrom, Yalkrom, Yabakrom, Ukran Kwanta, Adabokrom, and then Kasapin Camp roads. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
To get a follow-up questions.
Mr. Speaker, I begin with Atesi Chrome to Yar Chrome to Diaba Chrome Road. Mr. Speaker, this road is a 31 kilometer long, engineered and inter-district feeder road linking the Doma Central and Doma West districts of the Puno region. It is a gravel road with fair surface condition. Mr. Speaker, currently, this road has been awarded under the contract titled Upgrading of the Atesi Chrome to Diaba Feeder Road. The project commenced on 14th November 2016 for completion by 14th November 2018, which has since elapsed. The contract is being funded under COCOBO. Mr. Speaker, works executed to date include clearing and formation of the road, 31 kilometers, laying of sub-base, 29 kilometers, laying of base, 8 kilometers, spraying of primer seal, 5.2 kilometers, 1 by 900 millimeter pipe covers, 37 in number, 2 by 900 millimeter pipe cover, 2 in number, 1 by 1,200 millimeter pipe cover, 5 in number, 1 by 1,800 millimeter pipe covered, 1 in number, 600 by 600 millimeter U-drain, 6,619 meters, 450 by 450 millimeters U-drain, 52 meters, and 900 by 900 millimeter U-drain, 32 meters. Work completed to date is projected at 55 physical completion. The contractor is currently on site and works are ongoing. 2. Nkran Kwanta to Adabo Chrome Road, measuring 10 kilometers. Mr. Speaker, this road is a regional road known as R054. This road links the Western, North, and Puno regions. It is a gravel surface road in fair condition. Currently, Mr. Speaker, upgrading of this road, that is the first 10 kilometers, was awarded on contract under the Cocoa Roads program in 2016. The contract has since been terminated following the rationalization exercise that was undertaken by COCOBO. The details of progress before termination were as follows: clearing 100%, earth works 65%, concrete works 68%, sub-base 23%, base 23%, primary seal 0%, and sale 0%. The progress of work before termination was estimated at 48% physical completion. Future program. Mr. Speaker, efforts are being taken to repackage the road for re-award. 3. Kasapin to Camp 15 Road. Mr. Speaker, this road falls under a Sunafu North municipality in the Ahafu region. The trunk road through the town as well as the town roads are all surface treated, but with sections in poor condition. Currently, this road forms part of the project titled Upgrading of Bediakun to Kasapin to Camp 15 Road, measuring 45 kilometers. The project commenced on 15 September 2019 for completion by 12 September 2022. The progress of work to date is estimated at 24% physical completion. Works executed to date include concrete works 41%, earth works 55%, clearing 58%. Mr. Speaker, the works completed to date is concentrated between Bediakun Junction and Kasapin, that is between kilometer 0 and kilometer 20. No major works have been done from Kasapin to Camp 15 section, that is between kilometer 20 to kilometer 45. Just because the contractor is currently not on site, efforts are being made by the Ghana Highway Authority to get the contractor returned to site, failure of which will necessitate the initiation of contractual processes for termination of the contract. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, you have only one follow-up question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, per Minister's answers, he said efforts are being taken to repackage the roads for re-award. The efforts has been taken to bring the contractor on board or repackage the contract, meaning it has been terminated. So we are making efforts to bring the contractor on board. And if you go ahead, you said the contractor is currently not on site. Efforts are being made. So to bring the contractor. So, Mr. Speaker, I would like to know from the minister. Now, the contract has been terminated. You are making effort to bring the contractor. Since that long, what assurance do you have for the people of Doma West to bring the contractor on board so that it can be more trouble? Because that place is also farming community, which you have a lot of food there. So, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Minister, what assurance are you giving to them for the road to be done? Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the contractual relationship is between the contractor and the government as the employer. And when work slows down, it might be either the fault of the contractor or the employer, or partially both. That is why it's always necessary to carry out negotiations and discussions in trying to ameliorate what might have gone wrong. And that is the effort I am talking about, because nobody takes delight in just cancelling contracts because of the long processes we go through in awarding road contract. So we always try to salvage the project. So we are doing that. But if that fails, you can be sure that there will be no other alternative than to terminate and re-award. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I'll proceed to the next question. Mr. Bismarck Tetenyakung Apamanyakrobo. Question 953.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister for Roads and Highways when the contractor who is working on the Asasawa Town roads will return to site and when the project will be completed. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Asasawa is the district capital of Upper Menya-Krobo district in the eastern region. Currently, the contract for the upgrading of Asasawa Town roads Phase 1, covering 4.9 kilometers, or known as Lot 2, commenced on 14 May 2020 for completion by 13 November 2021. The progress of work to date is at 66% physical completion. The contractor is currently not on site, and efforts are being made to get the contractor to return to site by the fourth quarter of 2022, failure of which will lead to initiation of steps to terminate the contract. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, any follow-up question?
Yeah, thank you, Speaker. Speaker, the contractor indeed has abandoned site more than a year now. Speaker, can the Minister tell us what caused the contractor to abandon the site? Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in this particular case, is partly delayed payment, and once it involves delayed payment, then it also involves lack of capacity on the contractor. So these are the issues that we have to deal with. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah, Speaker, I have another supplementary question. Speaker, there is one other contractor working on the Kufridua road through Asasawa to Boso. He appears to have enough capacity, but he has been on the road for the past 1 year. Speaker, I want to find out from the Minister whether it is possible to reassign this contract to that other contractor, since he will be working through the district capital anyway to Fantiakwa district, if it is possible to do that. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. That is a very fair question and a good suggestion. The contractor is talking about is Maripoma. He is working from Asasawa to Kofodua, and there are two contractors on that road, Maripoma and General Construction. And these are strong contractors with good capacity. So we have given this contractor up to the close of the year. And definitely, if he is unable to return to site, the contract will be terminated. And your suggestion will be taken into consideration so that we don't go through the full haul of the long procurement processes again. We make it a variation order to any of these strong contractors. So it's a good suggestion, and it will be welcome. I thank you.
Very well. I'll proceed. Question number 988, member for Memphis Central, Peter Yakwachaka. Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I rise to ask the Minister for Roads and Highways when the following roads will be completed. 1. Asenkragwa Aguna Menfi Hunjibra Road. 2. Asenkragwa Che Krum Bonsie Ohin Krum Road. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Asankragwa to Aguna Menfi to Hunjibra Road is a 53.2 kilometer long engineered gravel road linking Asankragwa in the Wassa Amanfi West municipality through Aguna Menfi in the Wassa Amanfi Central District to Ankwaso near Home Jeble on the Diaso to Sefi Bekwai Trunk Road within the Bibiani Amiaso to Sefi Bekwai municipality of the Western region. Currently, Mr. Speaker, contract for the upgrading to bitumen surfacing of the road was awarded on 11th August 2016. Works commenced on 1st September 2016 with an intended completion date of 1st September 2018, but has been extended to 1st March 2024. The extension of the contract period was due to the issuing of a variation order to add the Nkwanta number 1 to Ejakamanso Road, measuring 7.1 kilometers to the contract, as well as incorporate additional drainage structures to ensure protection of the road structure against erosion, since the location of the road is within an area of medium to high rainfall regime. It was also to provide for further widening of sections as well as reducing some steep gradients. Mr. Speaker, the contractor has completed the laying of the sub-base material on both roads within the contract, but has suspended the laying of the base material in order to concentrate and to complete the construction of all concrete works, including side drains and culverts. Work executed to date, Mr. Speaker, include clearing and shaping to formation level, covering 53.2 kilometers. Sub-base, 53.2 kilometers. Cutting of 638,492 meter cube. Filling, 561,931 meter cube. Concrete U-drains, 17,700 meters. Various sizes of culvert, 198 in number. Progress of work is projected at 41.2% physical completion. Just because the contractor is currently on site working, extension for contract completion date is yet to be determined to know the final completion date. Asankragwa to Che Krum to Bonsie to Ohini Krum Road. Mr. Speaker, this road is a trunk road and is part of the regional road R124. It lies in the Wassa Menfi Central District of the Western Region. It is gravel surface road in fair condition. Mr. Speaker, currently the section of the road in question was part of the upgrading of Sefi Bekwai to a CM to Asankragwa road project measuring 56 kilometers. The road has been under construction since September 2008. The project started in 2019. A section of the road from Isiam to Sefi Bekwai has been sealed. The remaining section, that is Asankragwa to Bonsie, is yet to be completed. the contractor has abandoned site, efforts are being made to terminate this contract and repackage for re-award. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. According to the minister, the road, the contractor is still on the road, and I would like to tell the minister if he can find out the imposter who is mimicking himself as the contractor, because just last week I was there and there's no contractor on site. So I would like you to find out the imposter on the road. And I can assure you that road is very in a deplorable state and impassable, even though it was almost completed by 2017. So can you please answer this question, please?
Very well. Honorable Minister, I think he's giving information that there's somebody there pretending to be the contractor, to find out who that person is.
I didn't get his question well. I was hearing something like a new poster or something. I didn't get your question well. I was hearing something like a new poster.
The question was that find out who is on site or who is posing to you as being on site, because you went there and there was nobody there. So whoever is telling you that he's on site is an imposter.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the road is in 2 sections, and as was contained in my answer, one of them, the contractor is on site. That is on the Asankagwa to Aguna Amanfi to Honjibre Road, and quite substantial work is being done there. It is rather the Sankregwa, Chekrum, Bonsier, on Hine Krum that the contractor is not on site. And I did state so. But I wish to also remind you that to say that the contractor is either on site or not on site, there are some technicalities about that description. A contractor may not be working. Now, once he has not collapsed his side cam and has not packed off his machines and has not completely left site, from engineering point of view, the contractor is still maintaining his or her presence on site. So that is different from a contractor who has completely abandoned site. And if a contractor abandons site, he moves away with all the machines, personnel, everything. But once those things are there, it means that the contractor is maintaining some presence on site. So you have to get the understanding of whether it's on site or not on site. But the fact that it's not working and you don't see them working doesn't mean that he has abandoned site. So I was referring to it in that technical sense. I thank you.
Very well.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I think the question was in 2 parts. The first one was Asenkwegwa Agromenfi Jibril Road. That's where you explained that even though the contractor might not be working, but he has still pitched camp. So that means that he's still on site. If that is so, maybe, yes, then I'll agree with you. But the second portion, Asenkwegwa Chekrum Bonsier Road, in the conclusion you said the contractor has abandoned site. This means that he has removed his camp, according to your explanation. And efforts are being made to terminate the contracts and repackage for re-award. And I would like to know the reason why the contractor abandoned site, and whether the conditions that made him abandon site will not exist if you re-award this contract. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as I indicated, once a contractor abandons site, it's a clear indication that he is either not prepared or lacks the capacity to continue the execution of the work. And then we, as representatives of the employer, will have no other alternative than to repackage the work and re-award. That choice is obvious, and that is exactly what will be done. But we do so by respecting the contractual rules and the contractual obligation. It cannot be done, arbitrarily. So we are going through the process. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Very well, I'll proceed. The next question is in the name of the Honourable Member from Kwanta North, John Kwabna Bless OT.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. But, Mr. Speaker, this question has been filed several months ago. And looking at the answer provided behind, the answer does not reflect the current situation on the ground.
Honourable, can you ask the question, please?
No, I want
Can you ask the question and let us hear the answer?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to ask the Minister for Roads and Highways when the Pasa to Kamauli Road will be awarded to a contractor. Thank you.
Yes, Honourable.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Pasa Kabonwule Road is a feeder road measuring 12.6 kilometers, has a 10.6 kilometer engineered section and a 2 kilometer partially engineered section. It is located in the Kwanta North district of the Uti region and is an access road to fishing communities along the Volta Lake as well as other farming communities. The condition of the road is poor. Mr. Speaker, there is no program on the road. The future program, however, is that, Mr. Speaker, engineering, design studies, and condition survey have been conducted on the road for a proposed upgrading. However, the implementation of the intervention will depend on budgetary allocation under the 2023 budget. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I decided to ask the question just for the purposes of record. Currently, I believe my minister's directors have maybe haven't been able to remind the minister about four out of the 12 point something kilometers has been approved, and by PPA, the minister approved that 4 kilometers should be done on the road. It was approved by PPA, currently gone through the procurement processes, and I think in a few weeks, the award letter will be given to the contractor to move to site. So that was why I was trying to draw attention. Maybe the minister has not been reminded. So I want to thank him for that, and further ask what or when will he award the remaining 8 kilometers of the road. Thank you.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the award process has to be followed, and usually is between 4 to 6 weeks. So once it has been initiated within that spectrum of time, it will be completed. Once we have initiated the process, we will go through it, and within a maximum of 6 weeks, it will be awarded. And Mr. Speaker, he knows it, and he has been following up on them, so he knows what is happening. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Aidan, thank you very much, honourable members. That brings us to the end of question time for today. Honourable Minister, we thank you for attending upon the House to answer the questions. You are now discharged. Statements. The Minister for Youth and Sports is in the House, and he intends to brief the House about the House's Ghana's preparation to participate in the World Cup. I've admitted that, so I invite the Minister to read that statement. I'll permit only 2 comments by the leaders of the House after the statement. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to make the statement before this August House on Ghana's preparation at the FIFA World Cup, Qatar 2022. Mr. Speaker, the FIFA World Cup, Qatar 2022 is expected to be the biggest football festival in the history since 1930. This edition of the premier football competition will be hosted by a country from the Middle East for the first time in the history of the tournament. The tournament will open on the 20th November and conclude on the 18th December 2022. As of today, the tournament is exactly 16 days away from the kick-off, as the host nation, Qatar, will take on Group A opponent, Ecuador. The Black Stars will play against Portugal in Group H 4 days later. Uruguay and South Korea are the other group opponents the Black Stars will compete with for a place in the round of 16. Mr. Speaker, the Qatar 2022 World Cup will be Ghana's 4th appearance in the global showpiece, and Ghana's first appearance was in Germany in 2006, where the Black Stars impressively reached the round of 16 stage by following the defeat to the 5-time champions, Brazil. The Black Stars appeared consecutively in South Africa 2010, Brazil in 2014, before failing to reach Russia in 2018. Our return to the global football arena afforded Ghana the opportunity to showcase our nation, our culture, football to the rest of the world. The occasion will also be a chance to better our highest performance of quarterfinals finish in South Africa 12 years ago. My statement is centered on Ghana preparation participation at the FIFA World Cup, Qatar 2022. Ghana qualified for Qatar 2022 by beating the rivals Nigeria in the 2-leg playoff in March 2022. Mr. Speaker, Ghana targets at the Qatar 2022 about 190 nations played in the qualifiers for the Qatar 2022. And Ghana is one of the just 32 nations to successfully qualify for the competition. This achievement cannot be overlooked due to the failure of more illustrious nations to reach the Mundial. 4-time winners and reigning European champions, Italy, and other several high-profile nations failed to qualify for this year's tournament. Achieving the qualification itself is a big motivation and will enhance resourcefulness towards the preparation, and we are confident of performing optimally in Qatar. Government of Ghana, through the Ministry of Youth and Sports, have been collaborating efficiently with the Ghana Football Association to prepare the various aspects of the participation in Qatar 2022. Our target is to better our performance at South Africa 2010, which remained Africa's biggest outing in FIFA World Cup history. Mr. Speaker, specifically the Black Star team realistically targets the following results in Qatar 2022. Qualify from the group stage to the round of 16, which include Portugal, Uruguay, and South Korea, and progress throughout the knockout stages. Government, through the Ministry of Youth and Sports, has been working with the FA on the following as part of our preparation to achieve our targets in Qatar 2022. Keep the players, technical team, officials motivated, inspired, mentally, physically, and psychologically. develop and sustain a strong team bond, respect, dignity, support, and team ethics prior to and during the tournament. Mr. Speaker, Ghana's preparation for the tournament. Following the match playoff success over Nigeria, the Ministry of Youth and Sports have been working with the Ghana Football Association to prepare the Blaster adequately for the tournament. These preparations span relevant on and off the field activities in order to achieve technical, financial, psychological preparedness towards our target in Qatar. Through the Ministry of Youth and Sports, the government supports the FA. The Blaster incorporates 4 practical areas as follows: the technical preparation, the team preparation, team reinforcement, and managerial preparation. Since his appointment after Ghana regrettable group exit at the African Cup of Nations tournament in January 2002, Coach Otuado has been leading a strong constituted technical team. The Blaster technical team is largely constituted by Ghanaians with continuous local and international football experience at the highest level. The composition of the highly qualified, skilled, and experienced and competent technical team is led by the head coach, Coach Otuado, and includes Chris Houghton, technical advisor, George Boateng, Didi Dramani, assistant coach, and George Boateng is also assistant coach, and the goalkeeper trainer, our former goalkeeper, Richard Kingston. Mr. Speaker, I must also report that 4 local coaches will also be given opportunity as additional support staff and to use the platform to gain experience, confidence, and exposure. This is part of the broad strategy of the Ministry of Youth and Sports and the Ghana Football Association to develop local coaches' capacity. The Ministry of Youth and Sports has remained in constant engagement with the FA in the view of ensuring that every facet of technical preparation is achieved and delivered on our target in Qatar. Team preparation. The playing body of the Blaster team has been following the program by the technical team towards the tournament, and this aspect of the preparation has mainly centered on player selection, camping, bonding for the required tactical and technical drill deemed useful towards targets in Qatar. The technical team has been working with expansive number of players based locally and abroad throughout the qualifying games and friendly matches played until now. Based on these experiments and further monitoring, the technical team has submitted a provisional list of 55 players to FIFA prior to the last friendly match against Switzerland on November 17th. The final friendly match will be played just 1 week to the opening of Group H game against Portugal, and the final squad of FIFA required 26 players will be submitted before the tournament begins. So far, 2 out of the 3 friendly matches have been played with the following results. The match against Brazil and Nicaragua in September produced mixed results. Brazil, one of the favorites to win the title in Qatar, won 3-0 against Ghana in France. However, Ghana improved second half performance against the 5-time world champions was a positive reaction from the team and the technical team, as that is expected to improve before the tournament begins. Days after the Brazil tournament, the Blaster beat Nicaragua 1-0 in Spain as a testimony to the improvement of the team. The final preparation game against Switzerland on November 17th in the UAE should provide more certainties going into Qatar. Team reinforcement. Several players scouted locally and abroad of Ghanaian descent have shown prospects improving the team. The players have been strategically crafted into the team, and with the support of government through the Ministry of Youth and Sports, some of these talents have their Ghanaian nationality regularized for the tournament, having played in countries of their birth at the junior level. Mr. Speaker, the projected benefits for the Qatar 2022, the benefits associated with FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022 are enormous, and the Ministry of Youth and Sports put forward the following benefits that could accrue to Ghana from the FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022 tournament. The pride of participation. Qualifying as one of the 32 nations out of 190 countries that took part in the qualifiers over 4 years is prestigious, glamorous, and historic, and it will enhance our image in the competition that will be followed globally. Tourism and investment potential. Mr. Speaker, the tourism and investment opportunities that could accrue from taking part in the FIFA World Cup cannot be overlooked. Our appearance and performance in Qatar will publicize, advertise, and showcase the Ghanaian culture and other opportunities for foreign direct investment and tourism. This World Cup participation will provide a platform for coordinated activities with other sectors of the economy to market our textiles, chocolate, and other cocoa products, artifacts, artists, and tourism potential. Ghana government officials, such as staff from ministries, departments, and agencies, including the Ministry of Trade and Industry, Ministry of Food and Agriculture, the Ministry of Tourism, Culture, and Creative Arts, Ghana Tourism Authority, Ghana Investment Promotion Center, and Ghana Export Authority will be encouraged to have sideline meetings with investors and potential tourists. FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022 Legacy Project. It has been the vision of the host nation, Qatar, to create and sustain a first of its kind Qatar 2022 legacy projects across the world. Part of operationalizing this vision include the creation of bilateral relationships with interested countries, especially participating countries from Africa, Asia, and the Middle East, for the transfer of knowledge, skills, logistics, and other resources after the tournament. These phenomena include the possibility of establishing new projects in the beneficiary countries, and Ghana has been working on exploring and taking full advantage of these opportunities. Enhancing policy for sports development. The organization of the tournament, such as FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022, cannot be an event, but a process involving critical thinking, creativity, innovative policies. Policy formulation stems out of experience and thus stimulates concretization of the phenomena in the past and present. The organization of the games, creation and management of the facilities and logistics, formation of partnership and coordination of diversity are worthy of learning. The realities of deficit of technical skills and its enormous effect on performance of Ghanaian athletes at the just ended Commonwealth Games in Birmingham show clearly that technical gap that need to be bridged among sports and sports-related officials. The diverse nature of personalities to be sent to Qatar has primary objective of supporting the capacity building process currently pursued by the ministry. The African Games, Accra 2023, required high level of competence, and we intend to use this occasion to lay down foundation for skills and competent development among our people. Revenue generation and expected expenditure for Qatar 2022 World Cup. Mr. Speaker, having qualified for the tournament, the FA received $1.5 million from FIFA to augment the Black Star preparation, and this amount was useful to the team. Friendly matches to improve technical and managerial readiness for Qatar. Ghana will receive further $9 million for our group stages participation in the tournament, covering 3 games against Portugal, Uruguay, and South Korea. Our group stage appearance will cost us as a nation an estimated amount of $8,166,200 United States dollars, with our side firmly fixed on progressing throughout the knockout stages. And I'm delighted to give more good news. Mr. Speaker, progressing from the group stage to the round of 16th will increase Ghana prize money from $9 million to $13 million. At this stage, our expenditure is likely to increase to $8,792,600 United States dollars. Mr. Speaker, when we progress from the round of 16th to quarterfinals, the prize money will also increase from $13 million to $17 million. At this stage, our expenditure will also likely to increase from the $8,792,600 to $9,512,200 United States dollars. If we progress from the quarter-finals to the last four, Ghana stands to receive 27 million United States dollars to 42 million US dollars. At this stage, we estimated a combined expenditure for the tournament at 14,184,100 United States dollars. This estimated expenditure includes appearance fees, bonuses, per diem, flight arrangements, medical equipment, logistics, and hospitality. Mr. Speaker, whichever way we look at revenue and expenditure commitments for Qatar 2022, the benefits of playing in the World Cup far outweighs the expenditure, with several other unquantifiable benefits. Mr. Speaker, I want to assure the entire country that in these difficult economic challenges that we face, every penny will be used judiciously, and we have agreed with the FA that we will maintain the compensation, that is appearance fees, bonuses, as it was used in 2014 World Cup in Brazil. Mr. Speaker, additionally, club of each player will also be given daily amount of 10,000 United States dollars throughout the tournament of the player, and these are money that FIFA will be paying to the players, the benefits. In accordance with Article 37, Paragraph E of the regulation of the FIFA World Cup, Qatar 2022, each participation association will receive prize money, and those are the figures I gave earlier, Mr. Speaker. And our sponsorship towards Qatar. The Ministry of Youth and Sports has been leading effort following His Excellency, the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the strategic sponsorship breakfast meeting with Corporate Ghana in 2021 to source for financial support. And I want to use this opportunity to thank His Excellency, the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, for his leadership and intervention that has inspired and secured several corporate sponsorship arrangements for the Black Stars ahead of Qatar 2022. It is important to thank the like of MTN, KGL, and others who are currently supporting the national team to embark on this campaign. I want to also appeal to Corporate Ghana to heed to the President's call that Corporate Ghana to support the Black Stars ahead of 2022 World Cup. Additionally, the general public is encouraged to support the Ghana's campaign in Qatar 2022 by playing Star for Qatar initiative through the USSD. That's star 899 hash across the network. And I want to use this opportunity to appeal to all members of parliament, including my senior brother, the minority leader, to all of us contribute by playing, and I want to repeat the hashtag again, and that is star 899 hash across all networks to contribute your quota to the support to our national team. Challenges, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the preparation of the Black Star for Qatar 2022 FIFA World Cup has not been without challenges. Extensive strategic effort towards this tournament, notwithstanding the challenges across generating the required funding and the timing of club releasing players for the final phase of the team preparation, pose significant obstacle to our overall objective. However, the Ministry of Youth and Sports is in constant deliberation with the FA and other relevant individuals, groups, institutions, and organizations in a continuous effort to minimize the challenges to ensure utmost preparation towards Qatar 2022. Recommendation, Mr. Speaker. In order to overcome the identifiable challenges and harness the prospect of effective preparation for Qatar 2022, the Ministry of Youth and Sports is undertaking the following actions: ensuring intensive pre-tournament preparation. The Black Star team will continue to receive a total support, as it has been the case throughout the qualifiers to date, across funding, organization, and backing to ensure absolute readiness to achieve the targets for Qatar 2022. Reinforcement of the playing body. The Ministry will continue to collaborate with the FA to ensure the technical team requests of player reinforcement through effective scouting of local and foreign-based talent to be achieved. Aggressive support base. The ministry is working with corporate Ghana to organize massive support for the Black Stars in Qatar. Funding. The support from corporate Ghana, emanating from His Excellency the President's call, breakfast meeting, is being leveraged on. However, the exigency of the demands that the Ministry of Finance will encourage to provide them all the necessary funding, especially for the most crucial activities. Mr. Speaker, as I conclude, Ghana's preparation towards Qatar 2022 is progressing alongside designed strategy to ensure utmost performance through the Ministry of Youth and Sports and government providing the needed resources and facilitation across the relevant areas, incorporating technical team, playing body, organized support, and the backing of the entire nation towards achieving a memorable participation and performance. Mr. Speaker, thank you so much for the opportunity.
Very well. Honorable leaders, can I restrict you to 5 minutes each? It's almost 1 o'clock and our time. No, leaders, we agree that we'll take only leaders, please. We have to meet our guests at 1 p.m. Please. So, Honorable Minority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, let me thank the Speaker and the leaders have to meet a delegation from Panama at 1 o'clock. So, understandably, that is why probably, if it pleases Mr. Speaker, maybe tomorrow we can allow for some additional comments. Tuesday, so that for today, the leaders will comment on the subject. So probably on Tuesday, Mr. Speaker may allow other colleagues to contribute to the statement. But Mr. Speaker, let me thank the Honorable Minister for Youth and Sports for coming to apprise this House of effort he is making to support the Ghana Football Association, to support the Black Stars of Ghana. I can only say, shine, shine the Black Stars of Ghana. They should shine to make Ghana proud. They have the nation behind them. We would need to mobilize additional resources to support them. I should also join him, Mr. Speaker, in commending corporate Ghana. Understandably, I read that MTN is doling out some $2 million US. Goyal is reported to have committed $200,000 US, and I'm sure many other corporate entities will support them. Mr. Speaker, I still maintain my position that along the line, we probably, within the context of corporate social responsibility, will have to legislate so that corporate entities can do more for our country, do more for sports, and in particular soccer, and maybe dedicate a certain percentage of their profit to support football generally. Mr. Speaker, undoubtedly football remains the best uniter of our country. I mean, if there's any activity which unites this country and keeps us together, it's football, particularly the Black Stars of Ghana. What I didn't hear more from the minister is what is it that you are doing to support our supporters to be in Qatar? Because when you mention culture, our culture is better demonstrated sometimes by the Jama group. Because don't forget, your crew of technical men and footballers will be displaying football. Those who would share who we are, what we are, and what we stand for, probably maybe the supporters who would be accompanying. But Minister, I have one observation, and I probably, Mr. Speaker, I'll refer you to the paragraph. And on that one, Minister, we'll need you to come back and brief us. When you state, and I quote in paragraph 28, having qualified for the tournament, the GFA received $1.5 million US from FIFA to augment the Black Stars preparations. This amount was useful to organizing the teams-friendly matches to improve technical and managerial readiness for Qatar. How much of it did you spend? Because in the media, we are told that some 800,000, I said in the media, there is some report of 800,000 being spent in organizing the friendlies. How much did you spend on each of the friendlies, whether it was with Brazil or other? I am also aware that Brazil supported or funded a friendly match with Brazil. You cannot make 1.5 million and then you report that 800,000 of that money was used only for purpose of friendlies. And therefore, we need you to report back either to this House or the Sports Committee on the utilization in detail of the $1.5 million and how much of it was spent on the two matches. Mr. Speaker, as I also thought that beyond Kingston as a goalkeeper trainer, I thought that you could still make use of Abukari Damba. Do I get the name right? He's still, you don't need one. We still need to strengthen that. But in terms of strikers, Mr. Speaker, I think that we should commend Otoado, the Black Stars head coach. Inaki Williams of Bilbao undoubtedly holds promise as one of our best strikers. Daniel Amate and Tariq Lamte are very useful additions with Mohamed Kudus. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, as was observed by Fatima, I hope I get the other name right, the FIFA Secretary General from Senegal, she is very optimistic that an African country can make it. Ghana, it will be a tough test for the Black Stars, but they should survive the test with our country's support, with technical and tactical discipline. We do have a team that can compete favorably, either with Portugal or with Uruguay. Mr. Speaker, my own view, if Uruguay was to be replayed today, and our rematch with Uruguay should be seen as a rematch of 2010 in South Africa, when we were denied that golden opportunity. Mr. Speaker, today, even what Suarez did, in football today, the referee should whistle a goal, not a penalty. My view is that the referee ought not to have said that it was a penalty. I mean, if you give where the ball ballooned to and where his hand was, he should have just whistled a goal for Ghana. But we cannot reverse the events of time and what happened in particular. So Mohamed Kudus also holds promise. So, Minister, be assured that we will support the Black Stars. The country is united around you against the GFA, against the Black Stars, to make our country proud. But I think that you have to strengthen the goalkeeping if there is still room to allow Abukari Damba, who is also a noted goalkeeper trainer, to be able to support Kingston, to be able to do that particular role. I also see that you are announcing some additional names. I've seen Tariq Lamte, very, very encouraging. And then the GFA itself, you have to monitor them to ensure player discipline whilst they are in camp. Things that they can do and cannot do before a match is important.
Leader, kindly wind up.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you.
Yes, Honorable Majority Leader.
Speaker, let me also express profound appreciation to the Minister for Youth and Sports for the statement that he has made in this House today. The Speaker, I must commend him for the comprehensiveness of the statement and also the transparency that the Minister has demonstrated in this House today. This is the first time in the lead-up to a major tournament that a Minister has come to this House to render accounts as to how much has been received and how much has been spent. Yes, the Minority Leader raises some issue about going down the wire with accountability. I subscribe to that. But let's also recognize that this is the first time this has happened in this House, and commend the Minister for what he has done to show such transparency and accountability. The Speaker, whilst you commend him, when he finishes, because monies that are being given
much of it public money, he will still have to come back and account. Speaker, we are all yearning to see the Black Stars progress beyond what they were able to achieve in South Africa. As the minority leader said, if we had the goal line technology that we have today, certainly the Black Stars would have qualified as the first African country to have entered the quarterfinal stage. Unfortunately, it was not supposed to be because at the time the goal line technology had not been employed. The Speaker, our qualification was most dramatic. Nobody, or should I say, the majority of football fans and football analysts did not believe that Ghana was going to be able to qualify against Nigeria. Because player for player, at the time, we all recognized that Nigeria was ahead of us, ahead of Ghana. But football is not solely dependent on names. The tactical disposition and the technical disposition of the players and the technical people, when they combine together in a very harmonious way, Speaker, that team that has it could always beat the best team in the world. And that is what we saw. The preparation towards Qatar has been, thus far, very good, as the Minister has said. And it's fortunate for us as a country that in the lead-up to this tournament, we have not seen or heard any rumpus in the camp of the Black Stars. Speaker, and that is very, very impressive. The scouting for the team was also very phenomenal. How the technical people opened their doors to welcome every Ghanaian player everywhere who has the capability to join the team. Speaker, very commendable. And that explains why we have many people from various countries who have assembled to wear the colors of the Black Stars. But that in itself also poses another problem, because bringing players from all parts of the country, different leagues, and wielding and welding them together is also another task for the technical people. The team preparation has been serene and peaceful thus far, and we must commend the technical people and the other handlers of the team. The qualification, as I said at the very outset, was a bit checkered, but we managed to pull through. This is the second time Ghana has triumphed over Nigeria in a very crucial penultimate game. In 1991, when Nigeria came to Ghana, at the time we had been missing from the African Nations Cup for a very long time, since the collapse of our effort in La Côte d'Ivoire, in Bouaké. We are not qualified again until 1991, under the German coach, what was the name? Bukat Saize. And he brought up these players, unsung players. The established players that we all thought he was going to include were jettisoned and brought together players that people were not very hopeful in. And yet he was able to bring them together and took us to Senegal 92. As I said, the last battle was against Nigeria. Not in Abuja, because Abuja had not come on stream. The match played in Lagos, and it was one hell of a match. The Speaker, I moved from Zimbabwe those days to go and watch that match in Lagos. And when they were finding it difficult, at last minute, a penalty was awarded against Ghana with Ansah in the goal post, and I think it was, who was it? The number 6 player who ballooned the ball over the bar, and because it was Ansah who was recognized as one of their own, because he had played for Juventus, and Juventus had qualified Juventus to play in the Africa Cup, the Clubs Cup. was very well known to Nigerians, and they thought they would be able to score. They missed the penalty, and with that, we qualified. Hell broke loose. Ghanaians were assaulted. Many of them maimed because they never imagined that Ghana would come to Nigeria and conquer the Green Eagles, as they were known at the time. The Speaker, so this time around, we're all in jitters that it was going to be exceedingly difficult for Ghana to qualify the spends of Nigeria, especially given the fact that the first match that played here in Ghana, our own players were not very impressive. But we went to Nigeria and conquered. And that is how I believe we should all express profound appreciation in the technical team. They changed the fortunes and the tactical disposition and tactical and indeed technical play of the team overnight. We hope that with the assembly of these new stars who have come from without, they'll be able to have the team to gel. The minority leader was talking about having an additional goalkeeper trainer. I think it's good. But let's face it, if your back four are not good and they are constantly exposing your goalkeeper, the best goalkeeper will not survive. The emphasis should be on the 2 and 3 and 4 players to have solid defense players so that the goalkeeper will not be overly exposed. The Speaker, and we should also insist that we have good quality attacking players. That's why our attacking proficiency has been lacking. And even the previous one in South Africa, one we did well, it was, as we said, a one-goal project. We score one, and then we strive not to concede a goal. These people have the potential to excel. The good thing for us is the teams that we played, Uruguay and Portugal, their established players have climbed over the hill and they are in sharp descent. Our players now are budding stars, much younger players who should have sufficient stamina to withstand the play of the Ronaldos. And I'm very hopeful that if we gel together, we should be able to conquer both Portugal and Uruguay. So, Mr. Speaker, I'm hopeful. Let's all unite behind the team, the players, and the technical people. And I believe that at the end of the day, we should be smiling. My little worry, once we have this, the Speaker, we are all in difficulties. We are not out of the woods in terms of the health of members of Parliament and indeed the staff of Parliament. The head medical officer here in Parliament is the same person who is leading the Blasters. So by the time that the Blasters is out, we'll be bereft of a medical director. And I think that we should look at this well. We cannot have one person serving these institutions. Just one person serving the whole of Parliament and serving the Sports Council. And his first job is with the Sports Council and not here. So he's having to leave us while the tournament lasts, or at least whilst the Blasters are relevant in the tournament. We should look at this. It's not the best of circumstances. That is not in any way to denigrate Dr. Pambo. He's been very effective. I know that some of our people, my own, I shouldn't go there, but I know people who are indisposed now that he's taking care of, and he has to go. Who should take charge of them? It's not the best of situations. So, Mr. Speaker, the emphasis and the focus should be on the Blasters. We wish them well, and we hope that the minister responsible for sports, in the fullness of time, will come and give us a good story, which will cause all of us to smile. The country, we all admit, is not in the best of shapes. However, if the Blasters are able to deliver and perform well, they will bring excitement to Ghanaians. That is what we want to hear and indeed see. The Speaker, he just reminded me, because just yesterday and even this morning, we were thinking of having the budget to be read on the 24th. Incidentally, the 24th of November is the same day that the Black Stars will be playing our first match against Portugal. That should mean that if we should be able to unite behind the Black Stars, we should look at changing the date for the presentation of the budget. Both events are good for us, but we need one must give. One must give. So, Mr. Speaker, it's likely that in further consultation with the finance minister, we may have to bring the date for the presentation of the budget forward by at least one day, so that the 24th, as a nation, we will all unite behind the Black Stars in the first match that we're playing against Portugal. Mr. Speaker, I thank you, and I thank the Minister for Sports once again for bringing this statement to the House. I thank you once again.
Very well. Thank you, honorable leaders. Well, the suggestion that on Tuesday we should further discuss the statement is well placed, and leadership will make room for other members to make their contributions in respect of this matter. I thank you very much. Thank you, Honourable Minister, for coming to brief the House. That brings us to the end of statement time. I think we must bring proceedings to a close. Yes, Leader.
Speaker, we can quickly do some public business, a few of them, and I guess we can take an adjournment. So, if we can go to public business and do one or two things.
Yes, Leader, what do you want us to do?
Mr. Speaker, to present these papers as listed under item 8. Then after that, we can take an adjournment.
Very well. At the commencement of public business, item 8, presentation of papers by the Minister for Local Government, 8C. Yes, we can bow once, and then we will announce all of them as duly presented. Yes, Honourable Minister.
Annual statement by the Audit Committee of the Mampong Municipal Assembly for the year 2020. Continue. Annual statement by the Audit Committee of the Bekwai Municipal Assembly for the year 2020. Annual statement by the Audit Committee of the Adensi Asokwa District Assembly for the year 2020. Annual statement by the Audit Committee of the German North District Assembly for the year 2020. Annual statement by the Audit Committee of the Guadaso Municipal Assembly for the year 2020. Annual statement by the Audit Committee of the Ofinsu North District Assembly for the year 2020. Annual statement by the Audit Committee of the Adentan Municipal Assembly for the year 2020.
Honourable members, the annual statements of the listed district and municipal assemblies are duly presented, and they are for distribution to members. Or they are referring to the, very well, they are referred to the local government committee to consider and report. Now, Honourable Leader.
Mr. Speaker, if the Minister for Local Government will do the presentation for the Minister for the Interior, that's AD.
Another one.
Annual statement by the Audit Committee of the Ghana Immigration Service for the year 2020.
Very well. The report is duly presented. It's referred to the Public Accounts Committee. Is that right? For consideration and report.
Defense and Interior.
Immigration. Very well, yes. Very well. The report is referred to the Committee on Defense and Interior to consider and report. Yes, Honorable.
The Speaker, if I may seek indulgence to present a paper on behalf of the Minister for Finance in respect of 8A.
Yeah.
The Speaker, ordinarily, I will have no problem. But the Speaker, this request for tax, the A is not tax waiver. The Speaker, where we are, we need a clear direction on these tax waivers. And more so, laying those papers on behalf of the Finance Ministry is a problem. Here is the case: we are battling inflows, and we are talking of widening the tax net. Meanwhile, we are waiving taxes on behalf of the Finance Ministry. We must give him the leverage to do the work himself. And I believe maybe if he himself were to be here, this paper would not have been laid. So, Leader, why do you want to lay it on behalf of the Finance Minister?
Yes, Leader.
Mr. Speaker, yes, we should be looking for getting maximum revenue into the national kitty, for which reason we now have the Exemptions Act. But this one came with these exemptions, and we approved of this way back. Mr. Speaker, this is something that was done more than 3 years ago. So you should know that it's not captured by the new Exemptions Act, I should say.
Very well.
Request for waiver of import duties, import get fund levy, import NHIL, import VAT, EXIM levy, COVID-19 recovery levy, and special import levy amounting to Ghana cedi equivalent of 9,481,884 euros, 6 cents on materials and equipment required to be procured for the design and construction of the Obechebi Lamte Interchange and Ancillary Work Phase 2.
The paper is duly presented, is referred to the Committee on Finance to consider and report.
The Speaker, if we put all the other ones under B together, I will do so on behalf of the Minister responsible for information.
Which one is that?
Mr. Speaker, 8B.
Are you presenting both of them?
Speaker, there are two at the back.
Yes.
That is page 4.
Right, and
so there are four
Very
branches.
well, 4.
Yes.
You're
So I'll just
presenting
do
all of them.
Yes.
Very well. You may
They'll be
proceed.
encapsulated in one bar.
Very well.
Annual statement by the Audit Committee of the Ministry of Information for the year 2020. Annual statement by the Audit Committee of the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, GBC, for the year 2020. Annual statement by the Audit Committee of the Ghana News Agency, GNA, for the year 2020. Annual statement by the Audit Committee of the National Film and Television Institute, NAFTI, for the year 2020.
The papers are duly presented. They are referred to the Committee of Information and Communication to consider and report. I think it is time we bring proceedings to a close. Yes. Yes. I think we should bring proceedings to a close now. We have guests waiting for us. We give them 1 o'clock. We shouldn't still be here.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, the minority leader is signaling that we should take an adjournment. And I do know that we have also business to do outside the chamber, except to register this point strongly, so that tomorrow it doesn't come to say that, oh, we didn't have any business, so we adjourn the House. We call for an adjournment of the House. Mr. Speaker, I would want to move. I want to move that we adjourn the House until Tuesday next at 10 o'clock in the forenoon. I so move.
Mr. Speaker, I would second the motion for adjournment. I understand that there is a respected judge from the U.S. who has just joined to see our proceedings. I don't have the name, Mr. Speaker. Just now, I'm sure Mr. Speaker may have the details of the judge, maybe for purposes of acknowledgement. But, Mr. Speaker, I do second the motion for adjournment.
I'm sure later he will be introduced to the Speaker, then he will be properly acknowledged. Yes. Honourable members, the motion for adjournment has been moved and seconded. All in favour of the House adjourning now, say aye. All against that, say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. The House is accordingly adjourned to Tuesday, November 8, 2022, at 10 o'clock in the forenoon.